Welcome to my episode 8 review of Dragon Ball Daima, and I know it's late, like several days late. I was out of town for the holidays. I watched it while I was out, and I just got back home Sunday. I had a lot going down on Monday, so this was the earliest chance I got to review it. But just so I knew what was going on, just so I remember what was going on, and just make sure I didn't give you guys any bad information, I went and watched the episode once again just now. So let's get into episode 8 of Dragon Ball Daima. And at this point, if this fight doesn't convince you that this show is worth your time, there's just no saving you. There's just no convincing you at this point. I know so many people in the fandom just love to watch the fights of Dragon Ball. Like, that's what hooks you into it. And to be honest, I get it. The fights are great. The fights are entertaining. The fights are very hype. But there's more to Dragon Ball than just the fights. However, this fight with Goku and Tamagami 3 was incredible. It looked fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. The animation, fantastic. The choreography, fantastic. This was a very, very beautiful fight, a very, very well done fight, and a very, very, very hype fight. And it showed off that Goku was not slacking at all since his time after Kid Buu up to this point in the series. Now, we all know that Goku doesn't really slack off, but this not only showcased that how strong the Tamagamis actually are, but also how strong Goku has gotten since the death of Kid Buu up to this point in the series. I've seen a lot of debate online on whether or not Goku did go Super Saiyan 2 during his fight. And look, during those frames, absolutely looks like he did. I mean, if you compare it to the artwork of Toriyama and the artwork of the anime before, it looks very much like Super Saiyan 2. Now, you could just make a case that it was just for a frame and not for the full fight. That's really not, that's your own prerogative. You can have that conversation if you want. However, as I'm looking at it and I'm watching it and I'm seeing it come up, it looked like it's Super Saiyan 2 to me. It very much looks like Super Saiyan 2 to me. So, with that being the case, Goku having to go Super Saiyan 2, even for a brief moment in time, just for a few minutes during that fight, shows how powerful these Tamagamis actually are. Because this is not a Goku right at the end of Kid Buu. This is a Goku that is literally almost a year out from Kid Buu. Sorry, I almost said this in there. This is a Goku about a year out, almost a year out from the death of Kid Buu. So he's gotten stronger because, you know, Goku trains, and we saw in the first episode that he admits that him and Vegeta do keep up with their sparring. So this is a Goku that's far stronger than what he was just 9 months ago against Kid Buu. So his base form has gotten stronger, which would make his Super Saiyan 2 transformation even stronger. And that just shows how powerful the Tamagamis really are, because that means it wasn't easy for even someone as powerful as Dabura being possessed by Babidi. Because remember, the Majin powers that Babidi gave to those that agreed to work for them enhanced their strength, gave them a big boost in power. And during the fight with Gohan, Vegeta, was it Vegeta? Yeah, I think it was Vegeta that remarked that Dabura is comparable. It might have been Goku. It's been a minute since I've seen that part. Vegeta or Goku states that pretty much Dabura is comparable to Perfect Cell. And most of us always go, they're assuming close to Super Perfect Cell. But that's a Dabura that's been enhanced through the magic from Babidi, meaning that the Dabura before, who existed in the demon world, that existed as the king before being possessed by Babidi, would not have been anywhere near Super Perfect Cell, and at best maybe would have been Perfect Cell level at best, meaning these Tamagamis were at the bare minimum Super Perfect Cell or more. That's I know it's hard to imagine them being much like, when you compare them, like how well they did against Kid Buu and how well they did, you know, how the guys really fought against Buu and all this stuff. But it just shows that at the lowest you can bring down the Tamagamis is Super Perfect Cell. It is clear that they are anywhere around Kid Buu level, if not a little bit more, to be completely honest, because Goku was able to pretty handily handle himself during the fight as a Super Saiyan 1, and then only went Super Saiyan 2 there towards the end of the fight. So Goku only had to remove a brief moment of Super Saiyan 2 and was able to do a majority of the fight while Super Saiyan 1. So that's still a Goku that's 9 months post-training after the death of Kid Buu, who's gotten stronger, and add on the Super Saiyan transformation on top again. The Tamagamis are fierce, and based on the way they're numbered, I don't want to say that they're not equal, but given that it's Dragon Ball, Tamagami 3 is probably the weakest Tamagami. Not weak, just probably the weakest, if that's just the way they're going to go with Dragon Ball. I can see that. I can see them making, yeah, they're numbered this way because this was my strongest creation, this was my second strongest, and this was my third strongest. I can absolutely see that being what happens in the story. So if it's not, and they're all the same, Goku's not going to struggle much regarding Tamagami 2 and Tamagami 1. However, if the Tamagamis do get progressively stronger from 3 to 2 to 1, then by the time they get to Tamagami 1, Goku and Vegeta, because we did see him at the end of this episode, definitely going to have their handful with Tamagami 1. But we have to wait and see if that's the case. I do hope they make Tamagami 2 and 1 stronger than 3, because then it gives more incentive to be more of an intriguing fight. Because if we know they're no stronger than Tamagami 3, then we know Goku's going to easily wipe the floor with them, and he'll only have to briefly go Super Saiyan 2. So, again, it's up to them when they write it, but I'm going to say Tamagami 2 is going to be stronger, which is going to push Goku and Vegeta, or Vegeta will fight him by himself to, push himself a little bit more. And then Tamagami 1 might be so tough that they may have to consider teaming up together. And then, of course, inevitably, when we get to the end of the series, that's when they'll probably do the fusion if they're going to do it and whatnot. But I do see the Tamagamis getting progressively better. But damn, that was a really, really hype fight to watch. Like, that was damn good. That was a damn good fight. Moving on from Goku and the Tamagami, because he gets the Dragon Ball and everything, and Tamagami was like, yo, I surrender, your strength is really good, but that was just to see if you're worthy of taking my test. So after that, Tamagami brings out these little bells, puts the Dragon Ball underneath it, and pretty much does that shuffle one that you guys see on the boardwalk with magicians, where they find the card, and he was like, here's the Dragon Ball, and he moved it around. Pretty much everyone watching was like, bro, there's no way he's going so fast. But Goku was paying attention, because it shows how keen Goku is at understanding and how much of a genius he actually is when it comes to martial arts and understanding the body and the soul and the mind and all this stuff. So he shovels it all up, and he's like, all right, where's the Dragon Ball? And Goku points to a guy behind him as one of the spectators, and the Dragon Ball's floating above him, and they're like, what? They didn't even see the Tamagami throw it, but Goku's like, yeah, he threw it right before you stopped. I pretty much watched you do it. I knew you did it. So Goku gets the Dragon Ball. They head off on the ship. Choreo gets in contact with Anrisu, because we know from the previous episodes that Dr. Anrisu and Choreo are the ones working together. So he's like, yeah, we got the Dragon Ball. We're moving on to the second one. When they leave, they're heading to the warp gate to go to the second warp gate, which is when... so they're going to go to the warp gate, and then regarding Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma and them with Hibis, this was that episode, so I might as well, but I need to combine them because they're pretty much going there. Hibis gets the phone call from the third king saying, yo, Goku got the Dragon Ball, he beat the Tamagami. Everyone on the ship's like, whoa, really? I mean, they're shocked that they have Dragon Balls. Hibis is like, oh, wow, cool. Hibis being Hibis. I already like Hibis. Hibis is so funny. He's not even trying. But the third king's like, hey, go back to the warp gate. They're heading to the warp gate to go to World 2. So just go back to the warp gate and meet them there. So, I don't know. Next episode or the episode after that, they'll meet up at the warp gate and the whole gang will be together. But Hibis, at the end of this episode, just decided to make fun of Vegeta. And when Vegeta's like, tell me about all this stuff. Let's go. And Hibis just ignores him. And he's like, why are you ignoring me? And he's like, you're not a king, but you're very, very arrogant. And I just chose to ignore you. And that just irritated Vegeta to the point where he's like, pretty much has to apologize and goes, will you please tell me what's happening? So it's clear that as long as Hibis involved with this journey, he's going to get under Vegeta's skin, because Vegeta is going to be typical Vegeta. And Hibis is like, I'm not playing your games, bro. I'll just blatantly ignore you. And so I hope Hibis stays around for the rest of the series, just to be that foil to Vegeta, to just mess with him and annoy him and aggravate him for the rest of the series. And I hope when the series is done and we continue on with Super, I hope they bring Hibis back at some point. I don't know how, but just do it and make him become a character that just comes out to annoy Vegeta and then dips out. Like, that's all I want from his character by the end of this series. I want to see more from him, but I hope to see from Hibis moving forward that he just becomes a character that'll just dip out from the demon world, come to screw with Vegeta for a couple days, and then disappear again for a while, and then do all that. I think it'd be super hilarious. Now, so next episode or so, they're all going to meet up at the warp gate, and the gang's going to beat it. Now, back to Dr. Anrisu. So we know her and Choreo are working together. Choreo says, hey, we got the Dragon Balls, we're going to the next world, we're going to head to the warp gate. And Dr. Anrisu's like, all right, need to move forward with my plan, with the main part of her plan. And the main part of her plan basically is she wants to take over the demon world, and she's using Choreo as, basically her little minion, as she puts it out, to go with Goku, to use Goku to get the Dragon Ball so she can use the Dragon Balls, because we are introduced to a character, right? We are introduced to a character called Marba. And Marba is this powerful witch down in the demon realm that's actually responsible for the creations of the Majin Buu characters. Yes, it's been revealed. So this is a retcon on the Majin Buu character once again. Bibbidi did not create Majin Buu. I know originally when the series first came out, it was that Bibbidi created Majin Buu. Then it was retconned that Majin Buu has always existed since time immemorial, and he's just a manifestation of evil. Sorry, guys. And then, oh, I'm so sorry. But now it's been retconned once more, and it kind of go back to the creation thing. So the retcon is that the Majin Buu characters are created, and that they're created by a character named Marba. Hold on a second, I gotta deal with my pets. Okay, sorry about the interruption. Had to deal with my pets. Yeah, the character of Marba is the reason that the Majin Buu characters existed. So she's this like powerful witch character that Bibbidi came to back in the original, when going back to that creation thing. He came forward to her basically saying, I want you to create me a Majin Buu. Now they keep calling him Majin Buu character, so it's clearly something that's not Majin Buu that we see with Bibbidi is not the first Majin Buu, apparently, or at least that's what they was implying. I'm not going to say he's not, but it definitely seems to imply that there might have been a few other creations in time before that Majin Buu. Bibbidi came to Marba to get Majin Buu, and so she was like, you know, Anrisu asked, like, wait a minute, you're the one that created the Majin Buus, right? And she's like, no, what are you talking about? Bibbidi created Majin Buu. Bibbidi did all this. And she's like, I'll keep your secret. Don't worry. I know you did. You created it. I know Bibbidi did not have that kind of magic. So there's the reveal on that. Majin Buu officially was created in the demon realm for Bibbidi. And so Dr. Anrisu is freaking out because she wants her own Majin Buu. But she's afraid that, you know, it'll run wild, and she needs to make sure that it's controllable, because Bibbidi's Majin Buu was an uncontrollable rage monster, basically. So she wants to take care and make sure that her Majin Buu character is not going to run wild and run rampant and everything. So Marba's like, don't you worry, I've been taking extra precautions, put much more concepts of controllability within the creation process. She was like, I need a part of your DNA within it, so it's more linked to you to be more controllable. So we see Dr. Anrisu, drop a little bit of spit in there, so it's all of that. But this is new retconned lore for the character of Majin Buu. And that kind of goes off, and that section ends because that's was her goal. She's going to use a Majin Buu creation, to go after Goma, to get rid of him, and to give her the seat of power. Because, pull back off her and to mention Goma, we see for a brief moment Goma and Degasu rewatching stuff from the Majin Buu stuff, clips from the Majin Buu stuff in the chair. And in that scene, after Vegeta blows himself up and Majin Buu's pulling himself together, Degasu goes, hold up, wait a minute, I saw something. Go ahead and zoom in, do all this stuff. And it's revealed that Dr. Anrisu was there after Majin Buu blew himself up, or Vegeta blew himself up, destroyed Majin Buu, and then when Majin Buu's come back together, she was there, and she took a piece of Majin Buu and brought that piece back to Marba in the demon world. And they're using this piece to make, another Majin. So using the creation of Bibbidi's Majin Buu to kind of help them craft another Majin Buu. Because they said before that, the one that we did before, because apparently, again, Anrisu and Marba had created one earlier and it didn't work out. So they're working on another one and all of that. But they're using physical essence from Bibbidi's Majin Buu to create the next one for her. But Goma and Degasu realized that Dr. Anrisu was there at some point. She was out in the mortal world. She was collecting pieces of Majin Buu, and they're like, okay, so what is she up to? What is she doing? Why was she here? Why did she do this? Which does call back to the first episode. Yes, does call back to the first episode when Goma's leaving And the warp fish is like, oh man, a lot of y'all seem to be leaving lately. Wow, that's strange. And then it was revealed that like Degasu was like, I guess my sister Anrisu has left the Daima world at some point, because that's the only person they can think of. So, but they didn't have that confirmation, right? But this does confirm it that she did leave the Daima realm back during the Majin Buu stuff. She collected a piece of it, brought it back, and that's what they've been using to kind of craft a new Majin Buu for Dr. Anrisu to go after Goma, because that is her overall goal. Take a Majin Buu that's controllable, that's powerful, that can take out Goma and give her a seat as Supreme Demon King. Well, I guess in her case, Queen. I'm supposed to be King, whatever. So that's her goal, and she's using Choreo to work with Goku to get the Dragon Balls, because if the Majin Buu project fails and they cannot get a more controllable Majin Buu for her, they're going to use the Dragon Balls. So she's using Choreo to use Goku to get the Dragon Ball. So if her plan fails, she has the backup of the Dragon Ball. So all this is coming together now. We're seeing the big picture play out. The question is Choreo double crossing her and truly being honest with Goku, and like genuinely helping Goku to help them out, and he just got tired of being employed for Dr. Anrisu, or is he still going to stay faithful to Dr. Anrisu towards the end? You know, we're going to have the big climax of an Anrisu and Goma going at each other for the demon world. We're probably going to get a Majin Buu creation. I can already foresee it. Well, what it'll look like, don't know, but we're going to get a Majin Buu creation at some point. The gang's going to meet up next episode or two at the Warp Gate, so we're finally going to have Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Bulma, everybody together. And then we'll be moving towards to Tamagami 2, and then really 1, etc., etc. So we're going to get there. What do you guys think, though? For those of you that watch this episode, do you think moving forward that Choreo is going to double cross Anrisu, or is he going to stay faithful to Anrisu and help her with her goal, whether it be using the Majin to complete her goal of becoming Supreme Demon King, or use the Dragon Balls? I'm going to have to go with, I don't think he'll double cross her. Actually, no, I don't think about it. I think he might double cross her to use the Dragon Balls for himself. But I think he's going to stay faithful to help get the Dragon Balls there, and then something's going to go awry. She's going to get the Majin Buu character, but it's not going to work, so they have to destroy it, or Goku destroys it, or whatever. So she's like, my plans failed, or Goma's going to destroy it. So because her plan fails, she immediately goes to go use the Dragon Balls because Goku and them in it, and then Gloria's going to step in and stop her, betray her, whether for the sake of Goku or for the sake of himself, one way or another. I see him kind of double-crossing her when I really think about it. They're going to get their wish, and then really, we know the good guys are probably going to win. At least, Super comes after this, so we know nothing terrible can happen to them, guys. But it all plans out of, how's this story going to end? Because, hey, all we know is this story takes place before Super, and we know at least Goku and them are alive in Super. But I mean, they could die and get wished back to life in the demon. Like, something crazy could go down and everybody could be wiped out. And then maybe Neva uses the Dragon Balls to bring everybody back. Or at least Goku and the gang. Or maybe Dende is saved and brings... all we know is that the Goku and them are alive by the time you get to Super. Doesn't mean they can't die. It can't mean something crazy can't happen in this series. We just know by the time they get to Super, he's fine and back on Earth and everybody's doing their thing. But... question is Anrisu going to get her goal? Is Goma going to be this big character that's like, oh, it's a big threat, but in the end he's not? We'll have to wait and see next episode. But I really, really like this episode. I thought the fight was amazing, and I while it's another retcon, I like that they finally brought Majin Buu back to the concept of a creation. I didn't like Majin Buu being a time immemorial existence that is pure evil. I don't like that. I liked him being this magical creation that was created to do bad things and was just too powerful to control. I prefer that. I'm glad they kind of retconned it back to being a creation thing. Sure, they changed it to where it's not bibbity, but potatoes on that one. I'm just glad it's back to the creation aspect. What did you guys think of this episode? Or do you think Gloria's going to betray her? Do you think he's not going to betray her? How is he going to betray her? When's he going to betray her? What do you look forward to at the next couple fights with the Tamagamis 1 and 2? What are you looking forward to? Are you hoping like Tibbet stays around like I am? I hope he stays around, or at least shows up later after Tortara brings him back. Whatever it may be, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you've been thinking about the series. And this has been my review of Dragon Ball Daima Episode 8. Thank you so much for sticking by and listening. Till next time, everybody. See ya.